George Lynch. He's one of the top shredders from the 80s, known for his wicked solos and radical custom shop ESP guitars. His band Dokken is one of the most underrated hair metal bands of the 80s. Today we're rebuilding an LTD M-200 and turning it into a custom George Lynch-inspired Kamikaze in green. This is gonna be awesome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified when new episodes drop. This is Trash to Thrash. For more than 20 years, I've been obsessed with guitars. From playing them, to working on them, to buying and collecting them, I've built quite the collection of awesome custom guitars. Now, I'm turning my passion into a profession by seeking out old, beat-up guitars and giving them new life, all while trying to make a profit. I'll be searching everywhere for used gear that I can refret, rewire, repaint, whatever it takes to make it a real shredder. This is Trash to Thrash. Hello everybody, welcome back to Trash to Thrash. I'm your host Mark Murray, and today we're going to be creating a custom George Lynch inspired Kamikaze guitar for my customer Jose. George Lynch is known for fast solos and cool guitars with custom graphics, and that's what we're going to be making. The guitar we'll be starting with is an early 2000s LTD M-200 made in Korea. These are awesome guitars and I've rebuilt a few of them already, but none like this one. I fell in love with these guitars when I bought my first one back in 1998, which I still have today. It's a dual humbucker guitar with a maple neck, a rosewood fretboard, 24 frets, and a basswood body. It's routed for a Floyd Rose type bridge, so it's got a ton of potential for metal shredding. George Lynch started playing ESP guitars in the 80s, almost 40 years ago, when he visited Japan and went to ESP for a custom neck, but that quickly evolved into a fully custom guitar that he fell in love with. He went on to have some awesome signature models from them. I remember seeing them in the ESP catalogs in the late 90s and early 2000s, and seeing all the custom graphics on his guitars, and just thinking they were so cool. I'm building this guitar for my customer Jose, who is a huge George Lynch fan, and Jose wanted his own custom version of a Kamikaze. He's local to me, so he brought his guitar down so I could get started. He sent me this mock-up, which is a modified Kamikaze paint job. And what's really cool about it is Jose changed the Japanese markings so that it says Jose. He changed out the sticker on the body for a hookup sticker, which is a skateboarding brand that features anime girls. And another important change he implemented was to change the bombs on the bottom horn to crosshairs. This theme fits Jose a little better since he's a skateboarder and a Marine. Thanks for your service, Jose. The plan for this guitar will be to refinish it using a set of stencils that I'll make so I can paint on each color one at a time. Then I'll remove the stencils and have a radical George Lynch style pattern on this guitar. Then I'll apply some decals like the crosshairs, the headstock logo, and the sticker, and then shoot the clear, and all the details will be underneath the clear coat. As always, the first step when refinishing any guitar is to disassemble it. So I handed it off to my assistant Ryan for disassembly and to sand it. To get the surface prepped for new paint, we'll sand this guitar using 600 grit sandpaper with a palm sander. That'll scuff up the surface enough that new paint's going to adhere to it real well. Next, I applied some Bondo onto the guitar. Bondo's a two-part solution that you mix together, and it's made for filling dents and dings in metal or wood. This guitar is over 20 years old, so it had quite a few dings on it. The trick with Bondo is to put just the right amount on, not too much, not too little. The more you put on, the more you have to sand off. Bondo's real easy to work with. It usually cures in just a few hours, but I like to wait a full day before sanding it. Here I'm sanding it with 600 grit sandpaper. Now this body's fully smooth and it's ready to bring into the paint booth for its first color, black. Since this is a multicolor paint job, and I'm going to be applying stencils and spraying more colors on, I let the paint fully cure for over a week, and then I'm coming back with some 600 grit sandpaper to scuff it up and get it prepared for the stencils and the next paint color. This is the first set of stencils that I'll be applying on the guitar. I made these vinyl stencils using my Cricut machine, which is a vinyl cutting machine that hooks up to your computer, and you can design vinyl cutouts on it. These stencils represent all the black parts of the guitar, so I'm going to put them on the guitar on all the parts that I want to stay black as I spray the yellow and green sections of the guitar. Then I'm going to leave these stencils on until the end before I do the clear coat. And now it's back into the spray booth for some yellow paint. For the color coats on this guitar, I used Rust-Oleum 2X, which has great coverage and comes in an excellent variety of colors. Alright, the next step for this Kamikaze body is to apply the next set of stencils and then spray it green. So I just cut up a set of stencils here. That'll be the next pattern. Then we're going to spray the green. So let's do it. The way I've got my station kind of set up over here is I got the guitar right here in the middle. Got a picture of the concept that Jose sent me. And then over here I've got my pre-cut stencils. So I'm just going to apply them over. The way I cut them though doesn't match exactly with the way they are laid out. So I need to make sure that I look at the shape, identify it, get this oriented in the correct direction, and then apply them onto the guitar. The reason they don't match the body exactly as far as in order and in the right area is because it's too large to fit on one sheet. This is 12 by 24. The guitar is about 13 or 14 inches across and much longer this way, so it wouldn't fit laying out exactly as it should on the guitar, but we have the exact same shapes in the same sizes, just moved closer together. So I'm going to have to extract them one by one. Now this set of stencils, everywhere I put them is going to stay yellow, and you can see it matches up with the mock-up there. Now it's back to the spray booth for the final color, green. Now the color coats are done being sprayed, and it's time to add the headstock logos and the sticker to the body. The headstock logo is a two-color logo since it has like a shadowy accent thing going on. And here you can see we've already got the crosshairs on. I made those using the vinyl cutter. And this is the hookup sticker we'll be putting on the guitar. It'll go right around here. But it seems to be a little bit too big, so we're going to have to modify it a little bit to get it to fit into the right spot. To apply the headstock logo, I've got another LTD neck right here for reference on how to place the logo exactly where it goes. For the main color on this logo, we're going with white, and I'm putting that on using a piece of clear transfer tape. The transfer tape helps keep all the individual pieces together lined up, so you just push it on there, rub it on real good, and then peel off the transfer tape, and the logo will stay behind when you peel it off. Since this is a two-color logo, the accent we're going to go with is black, and I'm just going to manually transfer it over with an X-Acto blade. It's actually a little more difficult to try to line it directly up using the transfer tape. I find the X-Acto blade is a little easier to get it exactly where you need it. Nice, that looks good. These hookup stickers are actually made by JK Industries, which owns Hookups. Hookups was a huge skateboarding brand in the 1990s, and Jose's a skateboarder, so he wanted to include this on the guitar instead of the pictures that George Lynch has on his. This just helps it fit the theme of Jose so much better. The sticker needed to be trimmed down so it fit in the same place as George Lynch's stickers do, so this is how it'll be going on the guitar. By the way, look at those colors, they match the guitar perfect. The original Kamikaze has a different sticker you can see here on the original guitar. Alright, that looks good. Now this thing is ready for a light sanding and some clear. So we'll head back to the spray booth to do that. I did 3 coats of each of the colors, and now I'll be doing 6 coats of clear from 1 can of Spray Max Clear Coat. After the 6 coats, I'll let it dry for about a week, Then I'll sand it with 600 grit sandpaper and repeat that process twice. So I'll use at least 3 full cans of clear on this guitar, sprayed a week apart from each other. Now the clear coat is fully cured a week after spraying the 3rd session, and it's time to start sanding it. I start with 600 grit sandpaper to get it nice and level. At this stage of sanding, it's important to use a block so that you're sanding it nice and flat. After it's all sanded to 600, I'll move on to 800 grit, 1200 grit, 1500 grit, and then 2000 grit. On more recent paint jobs that are black, I'll even go up to 2500 and 3000 grit sandpaper. Then I bring it over to the StewMac buffer. Look at that beautiful shiny clear coat. The StewMac buffer is a huge time saver for me. It cuts many hours off the total work time on a guitar because I don't have to buff it all by hand, which I've done many times in the past. If you just do a couple guitars a year, you probably don't need something like that because it's pretty expensive. But if you're doing 3-4 guitars a month, I say definitely get one of those. You won't regret it. The headstock's looking great, but I really need to clean up the edges still. You can see that some of the tape got left behind, and the lines aren't that clean. And now it's on to one of the more fun and enjoyable parts of the guitar rebuilding process: assembly. For guitars with passive pickups, you always want to shield the cavity, so here I'm using copper shielding. And now this guitar is ready to be wired up and fully assembled. Now, are you ready to see this thing completely finished? Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button right now. It's time for the final reveal. This thing turned out awesome. Look at that beautiful rosewood fretboard, freshly oiled with lemon oil, and the frets were polished. And you guys know I'm a sucker for a matched headstock. I just think it ties the whole guitar together and looks so cool. And that LTD headstock shape is just iconic. These colors are so bold and vivid, they just pop. And that extra thick clear coat just gives a beautiful mirror-like finish. Jose had some great ideas putting these colors together and implementing the sticker here. I mean, it matches this guitar so well. It says Jose right there in Japanese. He's got the skateboarding theme, he's got the George Lynch Kamikaze theme, and the original pickups and hardware still look great after over 20 years. I love the detail of the crosshairs here on the lower horn, and since this is an M-200, it's got these cool inlays on it as well. If you want to hear this beauty, be sure to stick around until the end, because Jose did a demo for us, and he's going to jam out one of his original songs, so stick around all the way till the end of the episode to see that. Alright, what'd you think of this guitar? Let me know down in the comments section. If you have questions about this build or in general, leave them down below and I'll try to answer as many of them as I can. I'll be back in a couple weeks with another episode. I've got a ton to show you guys since I've been off air. I've been busy working on guitars the whole time and just enjoying life, and I hope you're all doing the same. Get your Guitar Guts shirts through the Etsy link in the description and help support the channel if you can. It's much appreciated. I'll see you all very soon. Rock on, my friends. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to post a poll this week with a couple guitars that could be featured on the next episode, so you can help me choose which one comes next. Also, check out the links in the description to get a Guitar Guts t-shirt available through Etsy. Your guys' support helps a ton, and the more support I can get from you guys, the more videos I can put out. Now, here's the owner of the guitar, Jose, jamming out one of his original songs.